Ladies and gentlemen, may God bless you. Again, I'm Pastor Cristian Ionescu from Elim Romanian Pentecostal Church in Chicago. I will be very careful with what I say, since together with the Logos Baptist Ministries and Pastor Daniel Q, we're involved in litigation against Mr. J.B. Pritzker, the governor of the state of Illinois. But let me provide much needed translation for the stay-at-home order provisions and how they apply to churches. You see this chart that seems to provide a plan to restore normality for the state of Illinois. It contains 5 phases to full restoration. There are 4 conditions charts, each triggering the next phase. For churches, included in phases 4 and 5, right at the end of this process, it is of little comfort that the governor bestowed upon us the status of essential services. We're supposed to be in phase 3 right now, which would allow for church public services of 10 or less in attendance. For us, it is insulting, more than ridiculous. We're conducting recordings for our online services with more than 10 people being involved. Whether the government officials have no idea what a church public service really means, or they're trying to tell us in a non-confrontational way that we're still banned, I don't know. But I know that the governor should have included us in the dialogue, at least to get informed on what a church service is really about. Unfortunately, this administration dismissed us as non-essentials in the beginning. Then, under intense public pressure and impending lawsuits, gave us the recognition, but only symbolically. It doesn't help us in the least. Media analysis indicate that we are months away from phase 4, services with 50 or less in attendance, and at least a year to normality. This is insane. If services with 10 in attendance sound ridiculous, 50 is not much better for a congregation of 900 souls. Therefore, we concluded that the best restoration process has to be proposed, decided upon, and implemented by each individual church. Yes, norms and restrictions will need to be taken into consideration, not only to satisfy the recommendations of the experts and the demands of the government, but more so to protect the people and ease the fears and worries of the participants. As citizens with parents and children ourselves, the governments should inform us of the danger, give us the recommendations, provide guidelines, and trust us to do the right thing. Some will say that given the novelty of the situation and the fluidity of its development, this pandemic needs to be dealt with in a unitary and consistent mode. Yet, from what we could gather, the government is as wobbly as anybody in its response to the virus. We've seen a lot of hesitation, confusion, politicking, trial and error, and gaffes to understand that there's no consensus about what's really going on and what to do about it. But when it comes to churches, there is one thing that worries me the most. The unembarrassed way our elected officials took on the Constitution of the United States and trampled at will on its specific and intentional provisions. And as far as we're concerned, this should and will not stand without a challenge. Thank you. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.